Hey, ready to go, and Nick's here with his solo. Sweet. That new truck, so I didn't recognize who it was. Alright, let's go, hit it. Probably gonna stay ugly like this all day. Thousands of them, actually. There goes Nick. He's heading up for rockfish spots. I got some bait. I got one nice big greenback and several sardines. I got one. The pen that he's in the tank right now, but I'm looking around for a better spot. I had just gone over a big school, and then all of a sudden they're gone. But the kid'll still love you, even if you don't buy this shit. Yeah, my buddies are out here. Buddy. I thought I saw something out here, way out here. I always love seeing dolphins. I want to bottom looks like there's stuff there, but hey, how you doing?
Good. Just want to say hi, man. I seen your videos. I watch you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, there haven't been too many lately.
Yeah. Well,
between the weather and the suck-ass fishing, shit.
Still a nice day.
Yeah, well, I had to get out of here. Like where I live up in the mountains, and it's been sunny and 85. It's freaking hot. And then I knew I'd look at the camera in there, and I go, oh shit, that marine layer. I used to work down here, so I knew, because every day I'd leave, sunny at my house, and they'd come into this, you know, your character just gets depressed when you have to come into the clouds. So I kept hoping for sun like last week, and then going like, well,
it's a little bit more overcasted than what they were.
Yeah, exactly. See, it was supposed to have been sunnier, and then I knew it wasn't clearing. And then today was supposed to be the best day of clearing, and I knew it wasn't going to happen. But there's always that chance. You never know, because the weather guys are never right. But man, the fishing's really... I made some bait, not as much as I wanted to, but it hasn't done any good. So then I'm going out there to go check out something deeper, and I saw in the distance something jumping. I go, that tuna or what? And I kept going, and all of a sudden there was nothing. Then finally get there, and all of a sudden it was dolphins. And go like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
And that's always a good sign. But it didn't pan into anything.
Yeah, there is bait. I made bait pretty easy too.
Yeah.
There's bait around everywhere.
So I think there were like several boats out there, all saw the same thing, all saw the dolphin jumping, so everybody hauled ass, and then we get there and we go, oh, nothing else. And then drop down into, we were just over 300 feet, so I said, okay, I'll put something down to get some rockfish. And I saw most of the spots I have marked from several years ago, there's nothing there. There's like no structure, there's no vegetation. I'm going like, what that? So you ended up finding.
A lot of the kelp got destroyed here too, huh?
Well, that's all gone. When I had a kayak like you guys, I used to hate, because right out here off this point, you had to come out an extra half a mile just to be able to get around the point. And so every time I'd go down there and come back, and it would be an extra lip. Now with this thing, I don't have to worry about it. With this thing, I just turn around and get the motor. I spent too many years trying to get back against the air, the wind and current from down there or from over there, and what would normally take you an hour and a half or something could take you 4 or 5 hours to get back. You know.
There's a lot of pressure too. There's no shortage of kayakers.
Yeah, but as all the boats were out there, like see those boats way out there. We were in 300 feet and nothing. It was amazing. But all these spots that I went to, which are all right at a little canyon area out there, the structure stuff that was there just a year or two ago, there was nothing. At least here there was some marks going around, but they haven't turned into anything bigger. But I did see some marks of bigger fish in a few times.
I was gonna book a trip with Sandog for the yellowtail. Which one do you think I should do it?
Well, right now the yellowtail are not happening here, and it's been like this for a few years, but it doesn't mean you're not gonna get one. It's just I've been telling people for a few years, it's become more about you were in the right place at the right time. 2 years ago I got 2 personal bests way up by Torrey Pines, which with my kayak I hardly ever went there because it was such a long trip, because when the wind picks up you're fighting a current and a wind, and it's really hard to get back. And I ended up getting a 41-pound yellowtail. And then I go back a week later, or 13 days later, and I hook up another one. And it's weird, up there it's shallow. Here, like where we're sitting, because people always ask, oh, where do you get the yellowtail? Well, 4, 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, right here. All you had to do was go half a mile circle from where we're at. This is where you caught them. They're just bull kelp here. You know, I used to get 30-pound, 25-pound yellowtail. They got to the point where I didn't need any. I'd catch them and release them. And, you know, it was one of those things where a few years earlier, somebody had told me I was going to be releasing big yellowtail. I go, oh, bullshit. But after a while, I didn't need any more because I had quite a bit in the freezer. And it was just the fun of catching them. But many years ago, I got addicted to yellowtail. It's like people come out here to catch calico and stuff. I'm going like, yeah, I don't bother. You know, I could spend a whole day looking around, and if I don't get one, oh well. But you catch a yellowtail, and the way those things pull, and you know, the fight is so awesome. And then they taste great anyway. But so after that, I got this guy he gets a little anxious. Got a big greenback on this one.
Your yellowtail right now?
No, I'm just saying that.
Unfortunately, everywhere the kelp.
Last week when I was here, somebody did get one.
Oh yeah.
Because the fish and wildlife guy was taking data, and I was talking to him, and all I told him, I said, yeah, now I got my greenbacks, and I threw them all back and released them, and then some starries that were a little tiny, so I descended those, and then I asked him if anybody had caught anything, and then he goes, there was one yellowtail that had come in. So you never know. You know, but it used to be that 5, 6 years ago, you'd come out here and you almost were certain to get one yellowtail, maybe more.
This time of year too?
Anytime, year round. People always go, oh, you know, the water's got to get warmer. Bullshit. For all the years, I started in 2013. It took me about 6 months to learn what knots, what hooks to use so you don't lose them, because I kept hooking up and losing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up with and but once I started landing them, again, you just came out here, you'd cut bait right off of as soon as you got out of the the border of the reserve, and you came out here or even just outside the reserve and get yellowtail. But now they're not here, and the biggest reason to me is the kelp being gone.
Yeah.
It used to look like a blanket. If you looked out there, it looked like a rug. It looked brown, and it came out hundreds of yards from the shore. And you could even go in there and try to do some rock fishing. I had done it before. But now you go in there, you'll find some strands or whatever, but you go, oh, there's kelp. I go, no, you don't get it. You couldn't paddle a kayak through it.
Yeah.
A hoe you could never go through.
It hasn't been like that for what, years now?
But since 18, 17. 17 was the last year we got another warm cycle where we had a lot of pelagics come out here, up here. 15 and 17 were the great years for being extra warm, which brought up dorados, unfortunately hammerheads. That's one thing, you know, it's unbelievable. If you're in the water with a shark, if it wants you, you got shit luck. Nothing. Just sitting there. At one time I came out here and there was, on just one day, it was, because I usually don't do weekends because of, you know, the huge crowds, more traffic, boats and all that. But this one, I had been trolling a lure just outside the reserve in the deeper near the canyon area, and I lost the lure. Something hooked up, I was fighting, and next thing you know, it broke off and I lost my lure. So I then started having live mackerels, and anyway, ended up hooking up this thresher like 4 times. And after the first time, he figured out how to break me off. So he would just roll. You know, he'd feel the pressure, you start pulling, you go, oh shit. And next thing you know, he'd roll, boom, and it broke your 40-pound leader. Yeah. And so after that, so I lost 4 or 5 hooks right outside the reserve. I go, oh, screw it, time to go in. But I saw him the first time was that I actually physically saw him in the water. He's like where those kayaks are. And I see the fin, I see it moving, and then next thing you know, it takes off swimming, and all of a sudden it goes, shh, and it's like going 30 miles an hour. I mean, it's like how fast that thing went across the water. We're going like boats can't go that fast. You know, even one of those center consoles can't go that fast until they get going. And that's how fast he was flying through there. And I went like, oh shit! If you're in the water and he wants you, you got no luck. You can't swim. You can't get away from them. You know, movies where guys always swim away from that thing. No way. It's just way too quick.
Do people eat those threshers? No.
They eat them, yeah.
Oh yeah, threshers, yeah. I mean, I've eaten threshers, but I've never harvested one. That one I thought almost about was the one that ended up breaking me off and taking my lure. But I just thought, nah, I really don't like to harvest sharks because they got, you know, they're kind of wish there were. I know there's great whites here. I have yet to physically see one so close that I could make out it was, but I've had friends that were 25, 30 feet away and goes, there's one. I go, oh, cool, let him stay there, you know. But
I'm sure there's great whites here.
Oh, all the time. But unfortunately, they're not doing a good enough number on the seals.
Yeah.
As you've seen, there's tons of seal pups. Now they're going deeper. But it's a little strange. You don't see as many adults as we used to have.
The seals are not active today either.
No, they're out there. There were a bunch of them out there.
Yeah.
But they're younger ones. They're like teenagers, pups. They haven't figured out that most of us had got a live mac. That before you hated when you came out here because they knew it. They'd pop their head, they'd look, they'd see you, you go, next thing you know, ding, 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 and your mackerel's gone. You're going like, they're then smart enough they don't get hooked. I only had one that got hooked once, and I couldn't bring him in. Every time I'd get him in, he'd get about 25 feet from here, and look, his eyes got big, and he'd push again, and you know, damn, I couldn't bring him back. Finally, I had to cut the leader. Yeah. But no, most of them are too smart to know to get hooked, and they'll take your mackerel, and you'd be losing bait after bait after bait. So that was the pain in the ass.
Your favorite way to fish mackerel out and wait?
What?
My favorite way to fish for yellowtail is
Fly line.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people, well, especially we're not that deep, you know, we're 100, just over 100 feet here, 110,
Yeah.
but even 150, people go, oh no, because a lot of people think you got to put the bait right in front of their eye. You know, no. If that thing's 100 feet away or more, they know it's there. If they want it, they'll come get it, because with their lateral line, they can sense the vibrations that your bait's putting out, you know, and the stress level they have. So just like your max starts to go a little because it senses that there's another something bigger, a predator. Well, the yellowtail can tell, and if they want to come up at 100 feet and you got one swimming around and he could be at 20, 30, 40 feet, whatever he decides to want to swim at, they'll come get it. It's not a big deal. But
Yours is that one now. How deep?
whatever he wants to swim, he could be at 10 feet. Don't know. Your line's out there. Sometimes it goes straight down. See, we still got this. Is it
You,
tangled on my line, or
yeah, you're,
I can go over there? Yeah. Well, he said he's tangled up. So
anyway, nice talking to you in person, man. I just want
All
to
right.
see a few videos.
Good luck, guys. I say, yeah, don't give up, because you never know. I said it's right place, right time. And the only place I can tell you is that at home is not the right place. If you're here, you got a chance. You just never know when it's that, you know, your time. There's just not as many in numbers, but it doesn't mean you can't get one. Did he get tangled up in your line? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I know. I had a Hobie. Oh, God, I had a Rebo, and I hated that. It always, you'd be trolling, and swear to God, it always got tangled up in the rudder. But yeah, the PAs and the new Outbacks with that recessed one underneath, you can't really, you can't see it.
Bait on?
What?
Do you have live bait on?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I see the mackerel. I see them swimming there. But yeah, they figure out how to do that. Let me try to get the rod under here. We usually go more than one time around.
Yeah. Let's get stuck on a circle. Merry-go-round.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, aftermarket.
Yeah, I figured that. An improvement by the larger one.
Yeah. So how often do you go out?
Well, I used to be able to get out here once a week.
Okay.
But with the weather, here, there, you name it, it's just, you know, ice or high wind, snow in my house, all that kind of stuff. I didn't cut it into your,
Okay, thanks.
that way, or sabiki and all that. It just,
Appreciate it. All right. Thank you, sir.
hey, you're welcome.
Good luck out there.
You too. Yeah, you never know. I said, you know, and hope you're not gonna get one, but
Yeah,
here
you can't catch fish from the couch.
No, exactly. And here you're sitting here, and next thing you go, boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
There we go. Get back in the water. All right, more bait. Give me your money, please. Give me your money, please. Isn't that strange? Indeed. Wasn't that strange? Indeed. Give me your money, please. Give me your money, please. Give me your money, please. Give me your please. There we are. Gonna get ready to hit on in soon here. It is after 12:34.